Another Florida man is in the news. And this particular case, at least from the way the authorities addressed it, does not pass the smell test. Hell of a lot of things wrong. What up, folks? Once again, it is indeed your boy Tim with another ride sharing video. Now, this happened down in Collier County, Bonita Springs, Florida, down in the southern half of the state, or the southern portion of the state. Now, a female Uber driver picked up a male passenger. Once again, nothing good happens after midnight. So it's around 11:30 in the evening. And it went awry fairly quick. Now, according to the authorities, during the ride, the sheriff's office says Cook made several vulgar comments towards the victim about her ethnicity and language. Now, Hunter Cook is the passenger, a 28-year-old man. So he was already making comments about her ethnicity and language, and it only gets worse from there. So according to the arrest report, once he started making these vulgar comments to the female driver, she pulled the vehicle over and did what many of us would do: get the hell out of my shit. But instead of getting out of the vehicle, this guy jumped out, jumped back in, and demanded she continue taking him to a different location. Obviously, major issues here. Uber and Lyft should do a hell of a lot more to let the passengers know. You don't have a right to demand shit from the driver. It's our damn car. If we don't want to take you somewhere, or we want you to get out the vehicle, by God, you're supposed to get out the damn vehicle. Uber and Lyft does not do enough to convey that to the passengers. Many of them think if they ask you to do something, you are basically ordered to do it, because they know that Uber and Lyft, and so do we, have their backs more than ours. But anyhow, this passenger did not get out of her vehicle, even though she was instructing him to get out. So she did the next level thing that many of us would probably do. As the Uber driver tried to call the police, Cook threw her phone across Bonita Beach Road. So she asked him to get out. He's already insulting her based on her fucking ethnicity and her language, which probably would lead me to believe that she might be a foreign individual. I don't know if she's African American or not, but he's basically doing some racist shit. Whether she's a foreigner, whether he doesn't like, what color she is or something of that. But the police made a note to mention it, so it's pretty clear that is what was happening. And now she tried to call for help, and he yanked her phone out of her hand and threw it across the damn road. So in my humble opinion, that's another charge. I mean, he's taking her shit and threw it across the road. Is that not assault? In addition to that, the report stated, now this is where it gets really fucked up. According to the police, the report stated he choked the woman and continued to beat her, but she was eventually able to get away. Cook drove off in her car, leaving the victim stranded on Bonita Beach, according to authorities. So she tried to call for help, took her damn phone out of her hand, began beating her and choking her. So this is pure hate coming up out of this guy. Doesn't sound like a typical carjacking or anything of that nature, because when she asked him to get out the car, he jumped back in the car. He didn't indicate that he was trying to take her car. He told her, take me to a different location. When she didn't do that, he got pretty much escalated to damn violence. So it doesn't sound like this is a typical carjacking. Now, I do a hell of a lot of videos, and I often talk about discrimination, because it's generally folks that look like me. Here is one where it is exactly reverse. So I do want to point that out. And it does look like it should involve race if the authorities is correct, suggesting that he was going off with her about her ethnicity and her language, which is what leads me to believe that she may have been a foreigner, because he's talking about her language as well. Nevertheless, he drove off with her vehicle and left her stranded. Now, this happened on June 24th, so it didn't happen just yesterday, but they just caught the guy on July 17th. Now, they had to do a subpoena for the records of the driver And once they did a subpoena, it turns out this idiot used his own damn account to hail this trip. Now, the obvious question becomes, what the hell from June the 24th to July, what the hell happened that took them so damn long where they had to get a subpoena? If you got a driver suggesting that they are the victim of a passenger carjacking them, beating the hell out of them, or choking them, why do you even need to get a subpoena from Uber in the first place? They should just hand that shit over. Now, I've done many videos, and I have pointed out to you clear as day that if you are victimized by a passenger, you cannot count on Uber or Lyft to be forthcoming and cooperative with authorities. In this case, it sounds like they actually had to get a court subpoena to go into the driver's records to find out who the hell she picked up. That should have been given to authorities right off the bat. The driver should have the ability to sign some paperwork, and that entire account should be busted open. Why the hell the police had to get a subpoena is ridiculous. Now, in addition to them getting a subpoena and finding out that this is the guy, listen to what he was charged with. This is why I'm suggesting that it does not pass the smell test. July 17th, he has been booked at the Naples Jail Center, is what the hell they're calling it down there in southern Florida. He's been arrested on 2 charges: carjacking and obstructing justice. Where the hell is the hate crime? Where the hell is the choking and the beating being addressed in a carjacking and obstructing justice charge? Hopefully they correct this shit down there, but it sounds like he's, for the most part, being he's being undercharged. Yours truly, it sounds like a hate crime. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm overstating things, but the issues in regards to her ethnicity and language preceded a beating. And it doesn't sound like he was basically trying to carjack her in the beginning. It just sounds like because she was pushing back, demanding he get out of her vehicle, and then trying to call the police, it pissed him off, and he just got belligerent on her ass. But it definitely sounds like a hate crime. Let me know in the comments. Maybe I'm guessing this shit wrong. Maybe I'm getting it wrong. You guys let me know what you think. But yeah, you're riding around in a rideshare vehicle, criticizing a female's ethnicity in her language, and then all of a sudden you're doing some pretty violent shit, choking and beating on this woman. It really sounds like that's straight up hatred. Doesn't sound like you're just trying to take her car. It sounds like you're really angry with this female. And based on the police reports, it's the only thing I can see where he was really angry about was he didn't like her ethnicity and the way she spoke. And then, of course, once she started telling him to get the fuck out of his car, that didn't help her out at all. Nevertheless, I want to bring this to you because, once again, it is always important to carry your defensive tools on you. What do we always say? Mace or pepper spray. Something to slice or poke with. Up to and including a firearm if you're comfortable. You should always have a defensive tool on you at all times. In this case, perhaps it would have helped her out. Certainly, in this case, a firearm would have been warranted once you put your hands around somebody's neck. But even a box cutter would get that hand off your neck, go through the tendons, all of a sudden the damn fingers don't work. Whatever the case may be, or mace or pepper spray. Last but not least, if you're unarmed, like in this case, where she got out of the vehicle and opened her door and told him to get the hell out, she should have took off, got out of the vehicle, took the keys, and literally fled the scene. Unless she thought she really was going to be able to put some hands on this guy and go, toe-to-toe with him. But sometimes if you're unarmed or you're outgunned or whatever, your best bet may be able to get out of the danger zone, as opposed to staying there trying to defend your vehicle or something like that and ultimately getting beat up or losing your life. I mean, once a person starts choking you out, who the hell knows where that might go? Nevertheless, once again, some ridiculous shit, and there's no explanation for it. But let me know in the comments. Does it sound like a hate crime? Does it sound like he was undercharged? Carjacking and obstructing of justice. I believe the obstruction charge is from snatching the phone out of her hand. She's trying to call the police. He's trying to prevent it. So I believe that's where the obstruction charge comes in. And of course, taking her car is the carjacking charge. But what the hell happens in regards to being choked and beaten? I'm not hearing that anywhere. Let me know in the comments. It's your boy Tim. Subscribe to the damn channel. See you in the next video.